being an owner of a weightlifting gym, you've probably seen many different types of members come through the door. Maybe people who just want to, learn for fun, young people, old people, maybe someone with existing injuries. I guess what would you tell someone who is coming, who's like maybe thinking about weightlifting, but maybe fearing of getting injured or something else in the process?
And the main thing I tell people is, your body's way more resilient than you think it is.
Yes.
That's certainly a feature I see with new people coming in where they're like, I'm going to lift a weight once, my spine's just going to snap. And it's like, definitely you're a lot stronger than you think. So I think it's, especially if you have that mindset as well, you're more likely to get injured. So like, try and give your body the respect it deserves. Like, you're resilient enough to do some training. And I think it's a little bit like when people don't want to start bodybuilding because they don't want to get massive straight away. They see someone doing some like crazy bottom position snatch where there's like a windmill catch spinning around. They're like, I think I could do that. So that's fine because that's years and years away. It doesn't have to look like that when you first start.
Yeah.
Like, particularly when people aren't very mobile, they're like, oh, my knees would hurt so much if I got into that position. So you just wouldn't get there. So don't worry about it. So if you start with like a really high power snatch or whatever it is, like a reduced range of motion version of the lift, that's fine.
Yeah.
I think people get stressed when they start and they're like, my lift doesn't look like their lift. And it's like, that's okay, because their lift didn't look like their lift either.
Yeah.
It's years and years and years, and you just go a bit deeper, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But that's the main thing that people get stressed out about is that it has to look a certain way from day one. So it just doesn't work like that. It doesn't need to.
Yeah. Have you ever coached many people or seen people come through the gym where maybe their ego is a bit big and they're strong from a powerlifting perspective, but then they say, oh yeah, let me try and learn a snatch, and then they realize like, oh shit.
Yeah, definitely happens often. It's a weird one that where people come in, they've got a really big squat or something. It's on the one hand, it's like you've got a really fantastic base to be good at this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's also people obviously get really stressed out that they can't lift enough. I think it's just kind of, they'll progress quicker. So you just got to let them fly a little bit more. I think especially when someone's strong, they could do a lot more training because it's just a smaller percentage of their squat that they're lifting.
Yeah.
So I think you just let them get to it. And I feel like the more coaching I do, the less I kind of fight with people's mindset like that. Like, I was definitely like that when I first started as well. Like, if there was a weight that I really wanted to hit, you just miss and miss and miss and miss. And I think back on it now, I'm like, come on, man. Like, now if I miss one snatch now, I'm usually like, I'm not going to try that weight again. That's probably going to be the end of my session.
Yeah.
I think you just have to let people go through that learning experience, because I'm sure there were loads of people who told me, I know there was, like, it doesn't matter so much if you can't hit this weight right now. If you're just like consistent with your training, you're going to improve, and then in a few years time this will seem like a silly weight to you, and you're like, yeah. All right, it sounds good, but I really do want to snatch it today, so I will.
Just a quick announcement before we return to the podcast. If you're enjoying this episode of Midweek Motivation, you may be interested in checking out the Midweek Motivation newsletter, where every week I'll share with you a useful lesson on resilience, mindset, or fitness, or health in general, straight to your inbox. You also receive a free workout of the week, useful resources, and the latest videos that I've got up there. And just if you want to keep updated on my life, you'll find everything there. If you're interested in that, go ahead and hit the link in the description below, or go to Substack and search up Midweek Motivation. All right, let's return to the podcast.
So yeah, I think just let people go through that.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, one of the big things I love about weightlifting is that there's a huge mental component. Like, perhaps you can snatch that weight, but maybe some other factors that day has affected, your mental health, or just your ability to make the lift. So stress outside your life, maybe you haven't eaten enough that day, maybe you're worried about just your job, something like else that's along the lines. Like, maybe if every other condition was perfect on the day, you probably could have made it.
Yeah.
So it's not always about trying to have progressive overload. I guess you very quickly reach that wall in weightlifting when you're learning. Progressive overload, like, you can't always go week by week adding an extra kilo.
100%. I do, particularly for like the snatch, clean and jerk, you have to be in a really, really good, confident mental state that day. It's so, because you can't think your way through it.
Yeah.
You have to be on autopilot. You have to be firing all cylinders. If it's not that day, I feel like just don't force it. That's a big thing. Because I feel like with squats and, like, especially your accessory work, whatever it is, running probably to some extent, you can just grit your teeth and you get through it.
Yep.
If you're not lifting very well, especially if you're not feeling confident that day, you're not going to lift very well.
Yeah.
I think just accepting that that's a big part of it.
And lifting at sub-maximal loads rather than your max all the time, that's going to be more beneficial in the pretty long term.
Yeah, for sure. It's just about trying to get really high quality work in. I think where people's training can derail a bit, I try and get across to people in weightlifting, you're looking for really, really high power output, really high quality work for less overall sets and reps. So even if you're having a bit of a bad day and you're grinding out like really heinous 95% lifts, it's not necessarily going to benefit you long term. You're looking for really, really high quality stuff.
Yeah.
So I think grinding anything out on the day is not usually a very good idea. There's obviously time and place for it, and competition, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So with weightlifting, like for you now, how is that different from when, say, in your early years?
I mean, now I just want to get back to it. I've had nearly a year off because of injuries from weightlifting. But I think when I do get back to it, it's just trying to be, it's almost like a shame now. It'd be a bit of a negative mindset. Like I just want to put together long periods of time of training.
Yeah.
But it's just obviously fun being really aggressive with your training. That's always the typical thing. It's like, I wouldn't enjoy it if I was always staying at 80%. But I think it's just spending a bit less time in that danger zone. So if I could weightlift again tomorrow, I think I'd still let myself go reasonably heavy, but just not do many sets and reps above 90%, whatever it is. And just try and be a bit more sensible with the training.
Yeah.